Hello champion, I am teacher Adam. I'm going to solve Igcse extended math paper non-calculator variant 2 May-June 2025. Welcome as I show you all the steps on how to handle hard questions and simple questions. We are going to first of all, identify the question comes from which topic, then showing you the examiner's tricks, and then I'll help you to show all the steps so that you can score all the points all the marks that the examiners want you to have. Thank you. Question number one, it says, so we have different formulas here, but question number one, we're going to calculate must not be used in this paper. So say shade one or more small squares so that the diagram has one line of symmetry. So this comes from the unit of, we have to identify the unit. So here it's line of symmetry. We're talking about similarity of shapes. So this is the unit of similarity shapes. And a line of symmetry, obviously a line of symmetry, you're talking about a line that divides a shape into two equal parts, so that this part, when you flip together, they fit exactly the same. So here, obviously, if you want this to have a line of symmetry, obviously we have something like margin here, so that when you flip your line of symmetry, if you flip, it has to fit exactly. So if this is there, so remember we have 1, 2, so you need to have something here. You shade here. You can shade here and get the correct answer. So if this is the answer, if you shade here, this is correct. So this is the answer. If you shade here, you get correct answer. Nice one. Go to the next question. Shade one or small square so that the diagram has rotational symmetry of order 2. So rotational symmetry of order 2 means this shape has to rotate. So it has to rotate. So remember, in rotation it means if you rotate, because here we have 2, that means the other side also has to be 2. So you have to choose. Here we have 2. Obviously, for example, if you want this square to fit exactly here, it will have to go once. If it goes once, it will not fit. Then if it goes twice, it will come exactly here, because once it will end here, and then the second time it will come there. So it means this one has an order of 2, because if it moves once, it will reach there, and then the second time it will reach here. So twice, but for it to fit, to be a rotational symmetry, you have to shade here. So if we shade here, you have a rotational symmetry of order 2. You square mark. Question number 2. The scale drawing shows the position of two villages P and Q. The scale is 1 centimeter, represent 0.5 kilometer. Then we say, find the actual distance between village P and village Q. So in this case, you just put, I don't know if I'm able to put a ruler here. So in this question 2, we say the scale drawing shows the position of two villages P and Q. The scale is 1 centimeter, represents 0.5 kilometer. So in this case, if you have, it comes from the unit of, first of all, the topic comes from the unit of scale drawing, and here we're talking about bearing. So talking about bearings, and bearings means we're going to look for directions of objects or villages using the degrees and the direction of object. Find the actual distance between village P and Q. So measure, what we do here, you measure the distance between P and Q using a ruler, and then after measuring, you have now to change. For example, if P and Q, if you use a ruler here, you put your ruler from this side to this side, then get. So if you use a ruler, I don't have a proper ruler here, but if you use a ruler here, maybe this is 0 centimeter, then to this side. So if you use a ruler, it will be 8.8 centimeter. Then after getting that, we go back to the question. Scroll to the top. What does the scale say? It says 1 centimeter on the drawing is equivalent to 0.5 kilometer on the actual ground. So if it's 8.8 centimeter, what will be the actual distance? So 8.8 times 0.5 kilometer. So 8.8 times 0.5, so it's 8.8 times 0.5. What do you get? You obviously get 40, then 44, and then because 1 to 100, so you get 4.4 kilometer. This becomes your answer. So here you have 4.4 kilometer. Correct. Measure the bearing of village Q from village P. So what do we do? What do you do to get the bearing? The bearing of village Q from village P, you measure this one inside. So you put your protractor here so that that's 90 So it means the angle that you get here, it will be more than 90 degrees. So you measure from there 0, you count the your outside scale, you get 90, then it has to be an obtuse angle. So you measure, obviously it will be an angle greater than 90 degrees. And obviously if you use a protractor there, you get something around 108 to 112 degrees. So my answer, so I'll put my answer as 109 degrees. Yeah, correct. Then we go to question number 3. Question number 3, it comes from the unit of geometry. So this comes from the unit of geometry. Geometry, we're talking about lines and angles, corresponding angles. We say corresponding angles are equal. Angles in a straight line add up to 180 degrees. So here I'll start straight. 100 minus 180 minus 65 degrees, you end up getting 115 degrees. Yeah, so here you get 115 degrees. And then this is vertically opposite angle. This is 115 degrees. Correct. This angle corresponds to this angle. An angle on top here corresponds to an angle on top here. So that's 65 degrees. Correct. Then you have 45 degrees here. This is also 45 degrees. Why? It's a vertically opposite angles are equal. So that is vertically opposite to that angle. 45, this is angle in a straight line, add up to 180 degrees. So 180 minus 45, what do you get? You get here 135. So this is 135 degrees. An angle on top here corresponds to an angle here. So this is also 45 degrees. Correct. And then we have an angle 65 degrees here is vertically opposite angle to an angle here, angle Y. So angle Y is 65 degrees. Correct. Then we have angle 65, 45 without even thinking of anything else. But also we have this other, like 45 plus 65 plus angle X, they are angles in a straight line. So they add up to 180 degrees. We want to see if both of them will respond and give us a correct answer. We have also angle inside here, angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. So if we do 45 plus X plus 65 should be equal to 180 degrees. What do we get? 45 plus 65, we get 110. So 110 plus X is equal to 180. So X is 180 minus 110. X is equal to 180 minus 110. Therefore, X is equal to 70 degrees. Correct. Let's see, with the 65 plus 45, still it's 110, so they all make sense. 70 degrees. 70 degrees. Then, now we go to the question. The diagram shows two straight lines intersecting two parallel lines. Find the value of X and the value of Y. Wow, that's fine. We have gotten. What's the value of X? We go to the value of X is equal to 70. Value of X is equal to 70. We answer like that when knowing now value of X is equal to 70 degrees. Then the value of Y, the value of Y is equal to 65. Correct. The value of Y is equal to 65. Correct. And you show all this, you show the steps above and you get your answer. Question number 4. Samira picks one of these cards at random and replaces it. When you see random, this comes from the unit of probability. It comes from the unit of probability. Probability and statistics. Probability and statistics champion. Probability is a number of favorable outcome divided by the total outcome. Correct. Statistics is just showing object, record of information. Okay, Samira picks one of these cards at random and replaces it. It means the total outcome is not affected. Find the probability that she picks an odd number. The examiner's trick. Samira picks one of these cards at random and replaces. This is where the examiner's trick is. And replaces it. So odd number. We need to find an odd number. What's an odd? Find the probability that she picks an odd number. Examiner's trick. An odd number is any number that is not divisible by 2. Like 1, 3, 5, 7. So probability of picking odd number is equal number of favorable outcome, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 out of how many? Out of 7. 4 out of 7. Correct. You get your answer 4 out of 7. Samira repeats this 35 times. Calculate the number of times Samira is expected to pick an odd number. So we know an experimental probability. Let's go to the next. We say this is an experimental probability. This question. Experimental probability is being calculated by taking the probability of odd number times no of times. Samira, repeat this 35 times. Calculate the number of times Samira is expected to pick an odd number. Correct. So you take 4 out of 7 times 35. So 7 here, once there are 5. 5 times 4, 20 times. Correct. And you get your answer. So Samira will pick an odd number 20 times. Question number 5. This comes from the topic of movement of shapes on Cartesian plane. Movement of shape on Cartesian plane. So here means an object is being moved along the x and y. So then we go down. Say translate triangle T by vector 0, -2. That means vector, remember x and y. Vector is written in terms of x and y. So 0 means the values of x of the image is not going to be affected. Whatever is going to be affected is only shift on the y down 2 steps. Shift on the y, but the values of x will remain the same. The values of x will remain the same. Let's go to triangle T. Values of x will remain the same, but this point will move 2 steps down. So this is 1, 2. So this is the new point. This is the same point, 1, 2. That's another point. This point, it will move 2 steps down, 1, 2. Then draw. You just draw a new shape. Correct. This is it. Wow. And then you draw there. So you have the first coordinate will be -1, -1, comma. We have seen there -1, 1. Then we have -2, -1. Correct. You get your 1 mark. Then describe fully the single transformation that maps triangle T onto triangle U, explaining single transformation process to get 3 marks. These 3 marks, how do we get the 3 marks? So they say from triangle T, remember we're talking about triangle T to triangle U. How did triangle T move to triangle U? First of all, this shape rotated because this angle here is on top, this one goes on the other side. So this point has moved some direction. So it means this shape was moving this way. So it went that way, and this point went up, and this point pointed down. So it came here. So it means it was moving anti-clockwise. Rotation. So we first of all we understand what types of movement for triangle T to go to triangle U. First of all, this triangle rotated. Scroll down. So the triangle rotated. So the first answer is you write rotation. How did the rotation take? Anti-clockwise direction. How many degrees? We know it's 90 degrees anti-clockwise. And then center of rotation. So you have rotation, 1 mark. Then direction. We say anti-clockwise direction, 90 degrees. Then we need to mention about the center of rotation. So let's go back. In center of rotation, how do we get the center of rotation? Go to the diagram. We can as well point. So we say we have this point. Draw a straight line there. We can draw a straight line here, joining that. And then we get, so that and its image, and we can get this, this point, and we can get that point and its image. So this shape, if you look at shape T, where it has to go back to get the center of rotation, we have to think where does it have to go back to its original position. So if it move at 90 degree, so that means it was going anti-clockwise. You will see from here to exactly there. That's where it fills the 90 degrees. So it means it was at the center of rotation, because we are looking at a way that all these points, if they are going back, they will be in a position of getting to the same side, this side, to its original position. So you get, if you want the coordinate, both of the coordinates of the u, which is the image of t, to be like t, you'll have to be at 2, 2. Yeah, so it will be at 2, 2, 2. So the center of rotation will be at 2, 2. So center of rotation 2, 2. Correct. Question number 6 is in the unit of algebra. Algebra, it's easy. So this is algebraic equation. So this is algebraic equation, and you just solve. So collecting like terms, you say 8x is equal to 39 minus 7. 8x is 39 minus 7, which becomes 32 divided by 8 divided by 8. We say x is equal to 4. Correct. Opening bracket here. So here it's expanding. How do you expand? Say 2 times 5, you get 10y minus 2 is equal to 24. Collect like terms. 10y is equal to 24 plus 2. Take negative 2, the other side becomes positive. So 10y is equal to 26 divided by 10 divided by 10. Y is 2.6. Correct. Then we go down. We say these are first 4 terms of a sequence. So we have 11, 8, 5, 2. Find the next term of this sequence. So we have to know, is it arithmetic or geometric? So we have 11. So 11 to 8. So 8 minus 11 is negative 3. Then 5 minus 8 is negative 5. 2 minus 5 is negative 3. So you can see 5 minus 8 is negative 3. 8 minus 11 is negative 3, because how to get difference, common difference, you take u2 minus u1, and that's what we did. We took 8 minus 11, whereby you got negative 3. So the common difference is negative 3 throughout. So find the next term of this sequence. So you just say, to find the next term is you just take 2 minus 3 and you get negative 1. So that's the answer, the next term of the sequence. And then find the nth term of this sequence. So finding the nth term of a geometric sequence, nth term obviously is u1 plus n minus 1 d. So this is a dependent question. You have to get a common difference first. U1, so what's u1? First term of the sequence is 11. So we go to 11. 11 plus, how many terms? We don't know. N minus 1. And then common difference is negative 3. Then you open 11 plus negative 3 times n is negative 3n. Negative 3 times negative 1 is plus 3. Then 11 plus 3 minus. Then this one comes to, so you get 11 plus 3 minus 3n. What do you get? 11 plus 3, say 14 minus 3n. That becomes the rule. So the rule is 14 minus 3n. Find the highest common factor, HCF, of 36 and 54. This is HCF. HCF. So the HCF normally is in the unit of number system. Easy. Highest common factor, 36 and 54. So you can use factors. Let's use factors. You can start with the least factor. 2 divide there, 18. 2 here, 27. And then 3 divide both of them, 6. 3 here, 9. Then 3 here again divides 2. Then here 3. There's no number that divides both of them. Then you say HCF is equal to 2 times 3 times 3. So we're using factor. HCF is 9 times 2, it's 18. Correct. So 18 is the answer. Question number 9. You say A is a point 3, negative 1. Vector AB is 2, negative 4. And vector AC is equal to 2AB. Find the coordinate of the point C. So this is in the topic of vectors. We have to understand vectors, movement of object. And we know vectors, we're talking about all objects move from origin, point 0, 0. So therefore, in that case, we'll say you have a point, and then you have, this is origin, this is vector A, and then we have vector B. So we have point A and point point B, and then we have that line going this way. So we have vector OA. What's vector OA? Vector OA is 3, -1. A vector is always written in terms of column, so it's always on X and Y. So we have X on top and Y. A point can be shown like 3, -1, but when you convert it into vector, you put in column as 3, -1. So we have vector OA. All vectors have direction. We have vector OA and vector OB. And then they say vector AB is 2, -4. So we understand that to get vector AB, we need to have the paths. Vector AB is equal to vector AO plus vector OB. Correct. Now they say find the coordinate of point C, whereby vector AC is equal to 2AB. So we understand that vector AC will be the same as vector 2AB, and vector AB is 2, -4, 2, -4. Let's get that vector. It will be 2 times the column vector. You multiply coefficient by every vector inside. So 2 times 2, you get 4. 2 times -4, you get -8. So we have vector 4, -8. So vector AC is equal to 4, -8. After getting this vector, we now say find the coordinate of point C. We have to find the coordinate of point C. So what's the most important here? The most important here, we know that from understanding here, we assume we have, this is vector point C here. So we have point C. We have a point C here. So to get, and we understand that, find the coordinate of point C. So we know, we actually understand that vector AC. So we have vector AC, which is equal to 2AB. And to get 2 times that, you get 4, -8. And we know vector A, because now we understand that to get vector AB is equal to vector AO plus vector OB. So that's the most important. And we know vector AO is opposite of vector OA. So in other words, vector AO is negative. Vector AO is negative. So we have vector AO, which is negative. So vector AO is negative, -3, 1. -3, 1 plus vector B. So if you get that point, it will be super easy for you, because what we were looking for, point C. So if we need to get our point C, what do we do? So we understand that to get point B here, we can as well find, to get vector OB, we know vector AB, let's do as simple as it is. To get vector AB is equal to vector AO, which is negative, vector OA, which is that, plus vector OB. So plus vector OB, which is XY. We don't know, so we want to find vector OB. And then we have vector AB, which is 2, -4, is equal to -3, 1, plus XY. So if we need to get vector OB, therefore, you have to ask yourself, -3 plus what will be equal to 2? So we understand that -3 plus 5, so that's vector OB is 5, and 1 plus y will be equal to -4. You'll understand that 1 plus -5. So 5 -5 is the same as vector OB. Vector OB, it is 5, -5. So that's the vector OB, 5, -5. Now we need to find point C. So this is very simple, very simple. To get this vector OC is the same as, to get vector OC is the same as vector, to get vector OC, in other words, to get vector OC is the same as path. Vector OC is the same as vector CA plus vector AO. As simple as it is. Vector CA, what's vector CA? Vector CA is negative AC, negative AC plus vector AO. Negative AC plus vector plus negative OA is the same as, because AO, we have AO, which is negative plus negative OA. All these are vectors. So negative AC, What is negative AC? Negative AC is negative 4. So we have negative into 4, negative 8, plus negative 3, negative 1. So negative 4 plus negative 3. So in other words there, to get that point, it's negative 4, 8, plus negative 1 times 3, it's negative 3. And then negative 1 times negative 1, negative 1 times negative 1 is positive. So negative 4 plus negative 3, you get negative 7. And then 8 plus 1, you get 9. That's how you add x to x, y to y, addition of column vectors. So you get point negative 7, 9. That's a long way. You can as well do that in that as simple as it is. The length of AB is k root 5. Find the value of k. So we know vector AB, we know from the question, vector AB is equal to 2, negative 4. Vector 2, 2, negative 4. Correct. Now they say find the length distance of a vector. We say the formula. So it's AB, in other words, they say AB magnitude is the same as x squared plus y squared. You find this, its square root. So 2 squared plus negative 4 squared. Then you find the square root of the squares. So that's the same as 4 plus 16 root. And then in other words, you say now magnitude AB, vector AB, will be equal to root 20. 4 plus 16 is 20. And then they want you to simplify in sad form. That's examiner's trick. They want you to leave your answer in sad form. This is examiner's trick. So you say AB magnitude will be equal to root 4 times root 5. So here you convert it into the form of A times B. And then later on you can say root A, make 1 as in simplifying. 1 should be in form of a square number and another one should remain in sad form. So this should be square so that it's possible you are able to find its square root. So here in other words you say root 4 times root 5. Root 5 is an odd number. So here you can find, you say 2 root 5. And then your answer now is 2 root 5. K will be the coefficient. So the coefficient there is 2. That becomes your answer. And you get as it is. And then P is a point on AB. AP to PB is 1 to 3. Now, remember, we had our vector here. We had our vector question. So we had this vector A, and then we had a line. And then we had point B. So we have this. Vector OA will be the same as 3, negative 1, vector 3, negative 1. We had vector AB, which is 2, negative 4. And then we had point C. Now, we had point C, which was negative 7, 9. All right. Now, they say find the position vector of P, whereby they said AP, they say vector AP to PB is equal to 1 to 3. But P is a point on AB. Therefore, we're just looking here. P is a point on AB in such a way that A to P, so it means one of it is 1, the ratio, and the other one is 3. So it's within here. So it's easy because we understand how to get that. So it means it's a ratio of. So find the position vector of point P. They want just this position vector of point P here. And we understand it's very simple. To get the position vector of point P, in other words, is vector point P. If this is a position vector, so position vector of point P, if this is point P, so position vector of point P, OP will be equal to vector A plus vector OA plus vector PB to get position vector OP. And vector OA, what's vector OA? So we need vector OP. We say it's vector OA. Vector OA is 3, negative 1, plus PB. But vector PB is a quarter. But correct. Now here we now apply ratio. But vector PB, what is vector PB? But vector PB is a quarter of vector AB. Wow, that's fine. Now we come here. Follow step. So we say vector OP is equal to vector OA, which we have 3, -1, plus vector PB. Vector PB is a quarter of vector AB, which is 2, -4. Amazing. Then what do? We say 3, -1 is the same as 2 times a quarter is 0.5. 0.5, and then a quarter of -4 is -1. Then you add 3 plus 0.5. What do you get? So vector OP is equal to 3 plus 0.5 as x, and -1 plus -1. What do we get? We end up getting our answer as 3.5 and -2. Wow, that is our vector. Then we go here. It's about area and sector. This is very important. Area and sector. It's also in a subunit in mensuration. A subunit in mensuration. You just need to understand. 3 marks question. The diagram shows a sector of a circle, center O. The length of the arc is n pi centimeter. Find the value of n. Find the value of n. So the diagram shows a sector of a circle, center O. The length of this arc. So they say the length of the arc is n pi. Find the value of n. How do you get an arc? An arc is theta over 360 pi d. That's it. This is how you find the value of n. Length. This is the formula of getting an arc or circumference. What do you do in that case? Theta. The theta is 45 out of 360 times pi times the diameter. So O to a point here, and O to this is called radius. So they are all 18. So diameter will be 36 centimeter. So they say the length of the arc is n pi. So this will be equal to n pi centimeter. Correct. So the formula will be the same as the length of an arc. The length of the arc is n pi centimeter. And an arc, our arc is from here. This is called an arc. This is called an arc. This is an arc. Okay. So we solve. 45. We can divide here. 9 there. 5 times 360 by 9 is 40. 5 here, 1. 5 there, 8. So 36. So you have our answers. 36 pi over 8 is equal to n pi. Correct. Then we can simplify. Scroll down. We say into 36. How many times? It's 9. 4 into that is 2 pi, and then n pi. Then divide by pi. Divide by pi. So therefore you say n is equal to 9 over 2, which is equal to 4.5. So n is 4.5. Correct. N is 4.5. Write 0.00708 in standard form. Writing a number in standard form, we say in writing a number in standard form, this is called standard form. It's in the unit of number system. Wow, this is so easy. Number system. So how do we do this question? We say writing a number in standard form, we write it in the form of A times 10 power B. And B, B shows a shift to left or right, movement of the decimal. But A should be numbers in the range between 1 to 9, should be a whole number between 1 to 9. So therefore, we are moving. Where are we moving our decimal? Here, we are moving the decimal because we have to find real numbers between 1 and 9. So we're moving our decimal to, when we move our decimal to the right, it's negative. So 1, 2, 3. Therefore, so say 7.08 times 10. How many steps did we move to the right? 1, 2, 3. So 10 power negative 3. So our answer will be 7.08 times 10. A movement to the right is negative power negative 3. We get our answer correct. Work out 3.8 still on standard form of numbers. Unit, number, system. 3.8 times 10 power 22 plus 3.8 times 10 power 23. This is very simple. Very simple. Because we are still multiplying. You can as well do it separately. Just depends on how you understand this kind of concept. Okay. So here we have 3.8 and 3.8 times 10 power 22. And then here we have 3.8 times 10. In this question, work out 3.8 times 10 power 22 plus 3.8 times 10 power 23. It still comes from the unit of number system and subunit standard form. So in this case, we need to find an easier approach of solving it. So we have 3.8 times 10 power 22 plus 3.8 times 10 power 23. So here we are going to apply the knowledge of indices. So we're going to apply the laws of indices to solve this question. So we need to have laws of indices idea to solve this kind of question. So we can see here we have 3.8 times 10 power 22 and then plus 3.8 times 10 power 23. So our idea here, we need to put them in the same base. So this is 10 power 22 and this is 10 power 23. So we can as well, for us to be able to add them, they need to be in the same base. So to make sure that we have 10 power 23, we will have to take the decimal back and multiply by 10 power 1. So that means our answer will be 0.38 times 10 to the power of 23. So that when you multiply, you get 3.8 plus 3.8 times 10 to the power of 23. So when you have this, now you can add, because they're in the same format. You can add now 0.38 plus 3.8 and then multiply by 10 power 23. And you get here 4.18 times 10 to the power of 23. So our answer will be 4.18 times 10 to the power of 23. You get your answer like that. Next question. Question number 12. We have, it comes from the unit of Circle theorem. This comes from the unit of Circle theorem. Then it says PQ and R lie on a circle. Then we have QR is a diameter. QR is diameter. If QR is diameter, then say find angle PRQ. Give geometric reason for your answer. In the unit of Circle theorem, basically in the unit of Circle theorem, when we're talking about Circle theorem, we just need to understand the laws. So one laws, if QR is diameter and passes through the center, a diameter QR subtends an angle of 90 degrees at the circumference. So this is obviously a right angle, which is 90 degrees. And then angles in a triangle, all the three angles in a triangle add up to 180 degrees. That means angle QPR plus angle PQR plus angle PRQ plus angle PRQ should be equal to 180 degrees. So angle QPR is 90 plus angle PQR. So we have angle QPR is 90 degrees. Then angle PQR is 74 degrees plus angle PRQ, which they are looking for. Angle PRQ is equal to 180 degrees. 90 plus 74, we have 164 degrees plus angle PRQ should be equal to 180 degrees. So angle PRQ is equal to 180 minus 164 degrees. And then what do you get there? In that case, say angle PRQ RQ is 180 minus 64, which is 16 degrees. Correct. So we end up getting our answer as 16 degrees. So angle PRQ is equal to 16 degrees because you can say that the sum of all angles you can do that in a triangle is 180 degrees. And then we can say another reason, diameter QR subtends an angle 90 degrees at the circumference. Wow, that's it. You get your point. So in this question, we're talking about statistics. So this is statistics. And here we're talking about we have 100 students who are supposed to solve a puzzle. The table shows information about the time taken by each student to solve the puzzle. Work out an estimate of the mean. So group data given in range. So what is 20 is less than t, and t is less than or equal to 40. So the knowledge of linear inequality is being applied here. So our estimate is between 21 and 40. So midpoint x, we need to find midpoint x. We make a column for midpoint x. And we need to know that this is between 21 and 40. It will be between 41 and 60. And this one will be between 61 and 100, because 60 is not does not satisfy the inequality t or time. So 21 plus 40 divided by 2 is 30.5. And then so here it's midpoint x, and then 41 plus 60, 101 divided by 2 is 50.5. Then we have 61 plus 100 divided by 2 is 80.5. Then after that, you now multiply by to get the mean. Now we say mean will be equal to you take the midpoint x, 30.5, times the frequency plus 50.5 times the frequency 40 plus 80.5 times 30, then divide by total frequency, which is 100. If you do that, our summation will be equal to, if you take 30.5 times 30, you get 915 plus 2020 plus 2415 plus so plus 2415, and then when you add, you get 53,050 divided by 100, so your answer will get 53.5. So our estimate, so work out an estimate of the mean is 53.5 seconds. We can say that's our estimate. Work out an estimate of the mean. And then we say, complete the histogram to show the information in the table. So to complete the histogram, we know that majorly in plotting histogram, we have to understand the knowledge of frequency density. We know frequency density is equal to frequency divided by class width. So what's our frequency here? Our frequency we have here, the first one is 20 to 40. So the frequency here, so we have the time is the time t is 40. We're going to use time t as 40. So if you go back to the top question, we had time t as 40, and then the frequency is 30. So the frequency is 30, and then the time t, which is 40. So we need to understand what is our frequency density, because if you know about frequency density, that will be easier. Here they say the frequency density is 1.5. So frequency density is 1.5, and then the class width is 20. What is the frequency? So the frequency is 30, because frequency is 20 times 1.5, which is 30. Yeah, so for us to find the frequency density, we just take the frequency divided by class width, which is 20. So frequency density of 60, frequency which is 40, divided by the class width, which is 2. So you show 2, yeah, because the frequency is 40 and the class width is 20. Therefore, you get 2. Correct. You draw up to 2. So here we need to apply the knowledge. We just take our frequency divided by the class width. Our frequency is 40 and then the class width is 20. So you divide, you get your answer. And then another one for 100. For 100, we go to the question back. 100, our frequency is 30. So frequency divided by the class width. 30, frequency is 30, divided by the class width will be 40 because there are 2 bars. There is one up to there. So this frequency density will be 30 divided by 40, whereby you get 0.75. So you go to 0.75. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 1 is 0.1. So we need to 0.7. So 7, there's 0.7. So you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. So 0.1 times 7. So it will reach up to there. Yeah, you get that one. So you say you get 0.75. So this is how you divide, because now here we have 2 class width. We have the first one and the second one. So we have this one and the second one. So we have 2 class width, which is 40. The class width is 40 and then the frequency is 30. So 30 divided by 40 is 0.75, and you plot it like that. You plot it. You plot it like that. You end up with a proper diagram. You end up with a proper diagram. You end up with a proper diagram. Correct. Next question. Okay, say the same question. 8 adults solve the same puzzle as students. The cumulative frequency table shows information about the time taken by each adult to solve the puzzle. So on the grid, draw a cumulative frequency diagram. So we have cumulative frequency diagram. So we have time t seconds. So what do we do in that angle to get a cumulative? So we need to know how to draw a cumulative frequency diagram. It has a frequency curve. So we know our time. We have 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. So if we start from here, we have, whenever we have frequency, so our frequency curve, our frequency starts with, we have 20. So cumulative frequency is 0, t to 20. So we have time t is less than or equal to 20. So we have been given that is 0. So we can plot it. So here we have the question. We don't need to draw it again. We have been given. So what we just to do, what we need to do is just plot. So we go to 0. 0 is, so 20. Anything less than 20, cumulative t less than 20, it's 0. And then we go to time t less than or equal to 40, and we go to 40. Time 2 is less than or equal to 40, we go to 40. Time t is less than or equal to 40 is what on the cumulative frequency? It is on the cumulative frequency, it is 12. Okay, we need to know the scale. So 12. So we know 1 because they're 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So 1 is 0.1. So if you want to get 12, it's here. So at 40, you get here. Correct. 2. So, and then we go 60, 36. 36. Go 36. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then there. Correct. And then go at 80, it's 60. Correct. And then at 100, 74. At 100, at 120 is 80. So at 120, let's go to 120. You just plot as simple as it is. At 120 is 80. Correct. Now they say use your cumulative frequency diagram to find an estimate for. So we need to draw our cumulative frequency curve. So you draw freehand. You draw it freehand. Let's go. This you draw it freehand. We don't use a ruler. Correct. Now, after that, you say the median. We know the median, if your data is even, the median is Q2, which is n divided by 2. So what's the cumulative frequency? This is, you get the median position, nth position. So our cumulative frequency total is 80. So 80 divided by 2. So the median is on 40th position. So we go for the 40th position on the cumulative frequency curve, on the cumulative frequency, which is y-axis. You go to 40th, then you find an estimate. Draw an arrow to that and then get an estimate. Yes, so it is 62. So our answer is 62 seconds. Correct, the median. The lower quartile, we know the lower quartile, which is Q1, is n over 4, a quarter n of the data. So our total frequency, our cumulative frequency is 80. So a quarter of 80 is on 28th. The first quarter is on 28th position. On 28th position, because a quarter, what we're looking for is a quarter of the cumulative frequency, total cumulative frequency is on 28th. Go to the curve, find 28th position. So you say this is 28th position. You go to where the curve passes and then find an estimate. You get there. So it is on 48 seconds. Correct. Wow. Write 0.25 recurring as a fraction. So this is majority. They say this is fraction. And here we say converting irrational number to rational. We know irrational number is a number that you cannot write it as a fraction. Now that number that cannot be written as a fraction has to be written as a fraction. And this is mostly happening with surds, the square root of numbers that are not square. So we say 1 rational is 0.2555. So the idea is to get rid of the decimal part, which is 5. So multiply by 10, you get 10R is, when you multiply by 10, you take the decimal in front, you have 2.5555 Roman 2. Then you multiply by 10, you get 100R is 25.5555 Roman 3. Now, so here you can subtract Roman 3 minus Roman 2. So you say 100R is equal to 25.555, which is Roman 3, minus 10R, which is 2.555, so which is Roman 2. If you do that, you get 90R is equal to 23. So divide by 90, divide by 90. Therefore, R is 23 over 90. So that becomes your answer, 23 over 90. Correct. Next question. This question number 15. So you have exponential question. Say the diagram shows the graph of y is equal to 2 over x minus 1. Write down the coordinate of the point where the graph crosses the x-axis. At x-axis, at the x-intercept, the value of y is equal to 0. So just say 2 over x minus 1 is equal to 0. And if you do that, say 2 over x is equal to 1. Now, how do you do that to get rid of x? To get rid of x, so you know at x-axis the value of y will be 0. So we have 0. We need to get the value of x. X is equal to 2. And you get your answer, 2, 0. At x-axis, the value of y is 0. So at x-axis means at x-intercept, the value of y is 0. Therefore, you equate your equation to 0. 2 divided by x minus 1 is equal to 0. And then collect the like terms. 2 over x is equal to 1. Then you cross multiply. X times 1 is x. x is equal to 2. So the value of x is 2, the value of y is 0. Write down the equation of each asymptote. In this case, asymptote is where the curve does not touch any of the intercept. So we go, so you can see here, we have the minimum point. We have that. And then, so this is the first one. And then we can have our vertical asymptote for this one. So you'll see here, majority of the question, because we want to see whereby they share a common interest, which is even. So you'll see it's close to your asymptote if you draw it straight, really straight, whereby it's very close but does not touch. The line should be very close but should not touch. So you'll see here, if you draw here, it will touch, and if I draw here, it's touching. So it has to be a little bit around here. So this is where asymptote is. Your asymptote is a line in which the curve will try to approach, but it won't touch. So you see, this is where our asymptote is. So our asymptote is at which point? It is at point x is equal to 0 and y is negative 1. Okay, for both of them. You see the other one is on top there, and this one is down. Correct. So we have at our x is equal to 0 and y is equal to negative 1. But we also have another one that's for horizontal asymptote. Then we have to look for a vertical asymptote. Let's look at vertical asymptote, whereby each one of them is approaching the y-axis. Okay, they are both using a line. Okay, so we have this. So in this question, you just say the asymptote, write down the equation of each asymptote. So the asymptote will be a line that both of the curve will be approaching but does not touch. So the asymptote will be at x is equal to 0 and y is equal to negative 1, and you get your points, both 2 marks. You get 2 marks there. By drawing a suitable straight line on the grid, solve 2 over x minus 1 is equal to 0. So this is called solving simultaneous by using graph. So here we're going to use our graph to solve a simultaneous equation. So in such a way that you're given a curve. So we have a curve. So you say use solving simultaneous using a graph. So here so we have a curve. So we have y is equal to 2 over x minus x. So we have that. If you go back to the graph on top, our curve is y is equal to 2x minus 1. But here we have a question that we need to solve. We need to solve this in this. So this is what we have. This is our graph. Now we understand that they are both y equations. So we have 2 over x minus 1 is equal to 2 over x minus 1. Both of them, we have to find an equation that was added up so that we can plot it, either by plotting it or by finding a solution that both of them should be equal. So for both of them to be equal, in other words, for this one, for our right equation, to be equal to our left equation, what will happen? There is something that has been added. So remember, this was from the graph is 2 over x minus 1. Is equal to 2 over x minus 1. So for this to be equal, we understand that there is something that has been added. If you add x here, it will be the same as 2 over x. So therefore, y is equal to x. Now, this is what we're going to have now. We are going to plot line y is equal to x, because here if you add x and you add x here, they are the same. And if you add x here, you get 0. And then the equation will be 2 over x minus 1 is equal to 2 over x minus 1. And that's what you need to do. Now we go to the graph, we draw line y is equal to x. We know line y is equal to x is a line that passes through the origin. When x is negative 1, y is negative 1. When x is negative 2, this one is negative 2. Anything that passes at the origin. Wow, as you go on. When x is 3, y is 3. Then you draw your straight line. So we draw a straight line, and this line will help us to solve because the line will be passing at the origin. So from the curve, so at the point of intersection, those are the values. So they say the values of x. So we can see it's at x is equal to 1 and x negative 2. So these are the solution. At x is negative 2 and at x is equal to 1. And you get marks for showing this is line y is equal to x. It's a line that passes through the origin. Therefore, your answer x is negative 2 and x is 1. And you get your correct answer as that. Then the next question here, we have mensuration. In mensuration question, we have a spherical shape, a hemisphere, together with a cylinder. So this, on top here, we have a hemisphere. So we just need to remember the formula for finding hemisphere. And then we have cylinder. So hemisphere connected with cylinder. The diagram shows a solid made by joining a hemisphere to a cylinder. The radius of both the hemisphere and the cylinder is 6 cm. The height of the cylinder is 5 cm. And then they say, find the total surface area of the solid. Give your answer in terms of pi. So the formula, a hemisphere, is a half of a sphere formula, whereby the area of a sphere is 4 pi r squared. So a hemisphere will obviously be 2 pi r squared. That's the formula. So we will find the area of hemisphere, which that's figure A. We'll find its area. That means will be 2 pi times radius, which is 6 squared. But remember, give your answer in terms of pi. This is examiner's trick. 2 pi times 6 squared will be 36. 36 times 2 pi is 72 pi square centimeter. And then we go find the area of a cylinder. Remember, the area of the cylinder here will be pi dh plus pi r squared, which is just 1. Now, pi dh, it's pi times diameter, which is 12 centimeter, times the height, which is 5 centimeter, plus pi times the diameter, which is 12 centimeter, which is the area of the circle. So remember here, we're just having, it's like we're having an open, so we have this, the bottom, together with the curved surface, because we have the top, which is a spherical in shape, which is a hemisphere. Now, when you do that, that means it's 60 pi square centimeter plus 36 pi square centimeter. When you add these two, you get 96 pi square centimeter plus 72 pi square centimeter. So find the total surface area of the solid. 96 plus 72. What is the answer? 168 pi square centimeter. So that's the answer. Understanding the question is very important and following all the method. Find the value of, so here they want you to understand. So this is in the unit of indices. Some books call it exponents, whereby you are writing numbers in terms of a power m dot a power n. So you're multiplying numbers or dividing numbers. So in this case here, the concept here is to change big number into the root form. So we know if we change 125 into factors, it will be the same as 5 power 3, and then everything put its power 2 over 3. Then how do you open the bracket? We know when you have a power m and then outside the n, you just do say you keep the base the same and multiply the powers. So this is the concept that this is the law that we're going to use. When you open the bracket of powers, you keep the bracket, you keep the base the same and multiply the powers. So you have, this becomes your answer. So the same here, you will do this. You keep the base the same and multiply the powers. When you do that, it's 5. 3 power 2 over 3 is 5 power 2, which is 25. So our answer is 25. Then we go to the next question. The next question says 4 power negative 5 over 2. Change the bigger number in terms of powers. It will be the same as 2 power 2, and then outside is negative 5 over 2. Power negative 5 over 2. Then how do you open the bracket? Say we multiply the powers. So 2 times 2, negative 5 over 2, which is the same as 2. Negative 5 over 2 divide by 2, you get power negative 5, which your answer is, the answer will be the same as 1 over 2 power 5, because this is, when you have 2 power negative 5 is the inverse. So it's the same as 1 divided by 2 power 5, which is 1 over 32. Correct. You get your answer as 1 over 32. This becomes our answer when you simplify it. Or you can leave your answer as 1 over 2 power 5. Then you got we got this. This one is really good. Wow, this is super easy. We are going to the unit of SADS. Now here it's a subunit in number system. Very important topic. Rationalize the denominator. What's the meaning of rationalizing? Means simplify, removing the square root sign from the denominator of a fraction. Give your answer in simplest form. Very good. Now it's easy. Multiply by its conjugate. In the other word, we just multiply by root 3. We know root a times root a is the same as a. So here it will be the same as 3, and then on top it's 9 root 3. Then simplify. We can open by 3 into 3 root 3 over 3. Cancel. Your answer will be 3 root 3. Wow, you get your full marks, 3 root 3. And then you get your 2 marks. And then here, find the value of C and the value of K. Now, in this case, they want us to understand, it's still in the unit of SADS, but here you're going to apply the knowledge of expansion, like expansion in algebra. So we are mixing the knowledge of algebra in expanding, but our algebraic expressions, they're in form of SADS. The same, we just apply the laws of SADS. So here we say 5 into 1 plus 3 root 2. Then minus root 2 into 1 plus 3 root 2. We solve whatever is on our left side first. So 5 times 1, what do you get? You get 5. And then 5 times 3, you get 15 root 2. Remember, you're only multiplying with coefficient. Then minus, plus minus root 2 times that, you get minus root 2. And then root 2 times that, you get, now remember this is, now you have negative root 2 times 3 root 2. So root 2 times root 2 is 2. So this root 2 times root 2, you get 2. And then 3 times negative 1 is negative 3. So negative 3 times 2, you get negative 6. So that's where the concept is, negative 6. And then we put it now. Let's collect like terms. 5. So we have 5 minus 6 plus 15 root 2 minus root 2. Remember this plus minus, when positive follows negative, is negative. Then take away the coefficient. 5 minus 6 is minus 1 plus 15 minus 2. Remember now, a root b minus we say c root b. So we say a minus c root b. This is also an exponent law that you need. So here it's a law of SAD applied here in this concept now. You just say 15 minus 1. So plus 15 minus 1, but they have the same number on the exponent, which is root 2. So here negative 1 plus 14 root 2. So which our answer now? Our answer, remember, it says C plus K. So leave your answer. So they say find the value of C and the value of K. So what will be our C? Remember, our C here, it says, remember our C, it says leave your answer in the sum of C plus K root 2. But this is the same, this negative 1 plus 14 root 2 is equal to C plus K root 2. So just compare. This is coefficient negative 1 is the same as C, and K is positive 14. That's it. So C is negative 1 and K is positive 14. So C is negative 1 and K is positive 14. Wow, you get your marks correctly. I hope you have understood there, candidate. Write as a single fraction in its simplest form. This is also one of the best. single fraction. So here they say write as a single fraction in its simplest form. This is one of the best easy question. So because you're multiplying, which we can say when you're multiplying fraction a over b times c over d, you just say ac over bd. So we apply this law. In that case, you just say 5a times 3b over 6 times a. So 5a times that to get 15ab over 6a. Then there you can simplify. We can simplify this. Divide by a common factor. We can divide by a common factor, which is divide by 3a, divide by 3a. And what do you get? In that case, a by a goes by, we get 5b over 2. So our answer here, it is 5b over 2. And then they say leave your answer as a fraction. That's what you need to do. Then here we have p. So because you are adding fraction, find. So in here you need to find common denominator. So we have 2 and 4. We can multiply. 4 is a multiple of 2. So you can as well use it. So our common denominator here we know is 4, obviously. Now we say we have 4 as common denominator. That's how it is being done. So we get 4 divided by 2 is 2. So 2 times p, you get 2p plus 3t. That's it. That becomes our answer. You say our answer is 2p plus 3t over 4. That's the fraction. Then we go to here. The same here. Find. So we need to find common denominator. So how do you get the common denominator here? The same thing. You say because the algebra, don't expand them. Just put them in that form. So our common denominator x minus 2 bracket x plus 1. And then remember, this can be multiplied with that. So x plus 1. So we say 2 into x plus 1. Because if you take this, your expansion, x minus 2 and x plus 1, divide by x minus 2, you will remain with x plus 1. Then minus 3 into x minus 2. Correct. Then start with numerator. You say in numerator, now in numerator you have 2 times x, you get 2x plus 2 minus 3x plus 6. Then you get 2x minus 3x, 2x minus 3x plus 2 plus 6. Then this is minus x plus 8, which the answer here will be 8 minus x on the numerator. So 8 minus x. And then down here, you can leave, you can decide to say, so I have my answer over x minus 2, x plus 1. So our answer here is 8 minus x over x minus 2 and then x plus 1. Correct. You get the answer. Next question. This is very simple. Say y is inversely proportional to 1 over root x when x is 9, y is 2. Find the value of y when x is 36. So this is called inverse variation. This is called the unit of inverse variation algebra. So we say y is inversely proportional to the root x. How do you do here? We cannot say they are equal, so we introduce constant k. So we say y is equal to k over root x. Correct. When x is 9, y is 2. So we need to find k, which is the value of constant. When x is 9 and y is 2, put it in the formula. When y is 2, what is k? Root x, which x is 9. Now get k. We need to get k now. So we know 2, if you go there, if we point there now, we have now 2 is equal to k over square root 9. So the answer is 2 is equal to k. Square root of 9 is 3. Now to get the value of k, you just cross multiply. K times 1 is k and 2 times 3 is 6. So k, the value of k is equal to 6. After finding that, write your formula with the value of k being mentioned. So you say y is equal to k, which is 6 over root x. Now find the value of y when x is 36. We need to find the value of y. Y is equal to 6 over root 36. So what will be your answer? Y is equal to 6 divided by 6. Root 36 is 6. Square root of 36 is 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1. So y is equal to 1. Wow, amazing. As simple as it is, and it's positive 1. When x is increased by a factor of 4, the value of y changes by a factor of p. Find the value of p. Wow, this is automatically fine. They say when x is increased by a factor of 4. So when x is increased by a factor of 4, the value of y changes by a factor of p. We don't know what value of p is, but we know if the value of y changes by a factor of p and it's increased by, so we assume it's the square root of 4. So square root of 4, because it will be 4 times the value of, it will be 4 square root of 4 of the value of x. So that means our answer will be 1 over 2. That will be the answer, because square root of 4 and this one divides by a factor of p. This is what we'll have, because it will be the inverse. So the value of p will be obviously be a half. Go to the question. Another question. Question 21 says the diagram shows the graph of y is equal to 3x minus x cubed. Okay, the graph crosses the x-axis at A, at O, and at B. The turning point of the graph are at P and Q. Find the x-coordinate of A and the x-coordinate of B. Give your answer as exact values. So what are we going to do in that case? So remember all these points here, the intersections, and we call them, in simple terms, we call them the x-intercept. We call them the x-intercept. So at x-intercept, the value of y is equal to 0 because the graph is still at the origin. So what you just need to do is to take your cubic equations, equate it to 0. So we say 3x minus x cubed is equal to 0. Then factorize here. We need to factorize. What's the common factor is x. So x into 3x divided by x is 3. Then negative x cubed divided by x, you get negative x squared is equal to 0. Then the first solution, we have x is equal to 0 using the null factor, or 3 minus x squared is equal to 0. Then, so we have the first value, x is equal to 0. We know x is equal to 0 is at the origin. Obviously, we'll be at, when x is equal to 0, the value of y will also be equal to 0. So we have the point 0, 0, which is the value of origin, solution of your cubic equation. Then we have this, which will give us two solutions, one positive, one negative, which is the quadratic. We say 3 minus x squared is equal to 0. Then negative x squared, take the other side. You remain with 3 is equal to x squared. Then find the square root. When you find the square root of number, remember, it will give you two solutions. You have square root of x squared and root 3. So x will be plus root 3 or negative root 3. That's it. So find the x coordinate of, so they say find the x coordinate. So they only want the x coordinate. The x coordinate of A obviously will be the negative one. So you have A will be the negative because it's a value of number below 0. So it's negative root 3. And then x coordinate of B is the value of a number above 0. So it will obviously be positive, which will be root 3. That's what you get the answer. So those are the key concept and the examiner's trick. You have to understand that any value after 0 moving to negative infinity, and then anything below is negative, and anything above is positive to positive infinity. Correct. This is something that you need to know in Cartesian plane. So this is y-axis and this is x-axis. So they can be approaching or going anywhere, but you need to understand that. Differentiate. So here we're talking about this is calculus in the subunit of differentiation. So the concept here, we just need to know when you're differentiating a curve. So you have y is equal to a we say ax power n. So what we need to do is n times a. You take the power, multiply by whatever you have on the coefficient, then the power minus 1. This will be dy over dx change. So we're going to apply this rule in solving the equation rule of differentiation. Yeah, so we're going to use that rule. So here, in other words, dy dx, so we say dy dx is equal to change of y over change of x. So it will be the same as, so we have 1 times 3. So 1 times 3, which is the power. The power here is 1, invisible 1. So we have 1. So 1 times 3. Then x is 1 minus 1. I want to show you how they got it. Minus 3 times x, and then 3 minus 1. We're going to apply this. You get that concept. Therefore, this one will be the same as 1 times 3 is 3. Then x power 0 minus 3x. 3 minus 1 is 2. Now, 3 times x power 0 is 1. So 3 times 1, any number power 0 is 1. 3 times 1 minus 3x power 2. So your answer will be 3 minus 3x squared. This is what we are going to write as our curve. So it's 3 minus 3x squared. This is what we're going to write as our answer after differentiating our cubic equation. Find the coordinate of P and Q. Wow. So they need the coordinate of P and Q. We go to the point P. So P and Q, what are P and Q? We say P and Q, they are our turning point. And turning point, so the P is minimum. The P is minimum turning point and Q is maximum turning point. So we have minimum turning point and maximum turning point. Now let's go down. So we have minimum turning point and maximum turning point. So find the coordinate of P and Q. Simply because we automatically understand that if at turning point the gradient is equal to 0, dy dx is equal to 0. So we have our differentiation on top, which was 3 minus 3x squared is equal to 0. Then we know the value. When you do this, so you can say 3. If you divide there, you open bracket. So it will be 3 divided by 3 is 1. So 1 minus x squared is equal to 0. Therefore, say 1 minus x squared is equal to 0. And then x squared is equal to 1. So find the square root. X is 1 or negative 1. So we have those two options, because when you're finding root is either plus or minus. When you're finding root is either plus or minus square root 1. So therefore you have x as positive 1 or x as negative 1. For point P, it will be the negative 1, because it's the value of x below 0. The value of x below 0, it has to be negative 1. So we go there, we say point P will be negative 1. That's where the examiner's trick is. So this will be negative 1, because it's the value below the value of x below 0. And Q will be the value of x above 0, which will be 1. Then put it into your main equation to get the value of y. What's the value of y now? In that case, you input it into our original equation. So our original equation, y is equal to 3x minus x cubed. So we say 3 times 1 minus 1 cubed. So 3 minus 1, you get 2. So value of y is equal to 2 when x is equal to 1. So when x is equal to 1, the value of y is 2. And when x is equal to negative 1, so y is equal to 3x minus x cubed. So 3 times negative 1 minus negative 1 cubed. So this is negative 3 minus into negative 1. So this is negative 3 plus 1, which will be negative 2. Yeah. So the value of y is negative 2. So we have negative 2 and 2, negative 1, negative 2, and 1 and 2. You get correct answers for values of p and q to get all 4 marks. That's what you do, champion. Next question. They say, write down the exact value of tan 60. This is simple. This comes from the unit of trigonometry. Now here they want you to remember the formulas, because we're not using the we're not using calculators. We know from isosceles triangle that has both sides equal, and if all the sides are equal, it means it's an equilateral. Even at the center is 60. Then you drop a perpendicular bisector. You have this. Say now, if you're finding this, that means this one will be root 3 and this side will be 1, 1. If that point is medium, the middle point. So we have middle point here, medium. So we have 1, 1. So this will be the same as if you use the laws of Pythagoras, you get this was root 3. Now say tan 60. Tan 60, tan of an angle, you use which formula? So ka to a. Remember this formula. So which to of an angle, it's tan of an angle is equal to opposite divided by adjacent. So opposite here of 60 is root 3. Root 3 over adjacent, which is 1. So our answer is root 3. Wow, as simple as it is. Then solve. We say 2 sine x minus 1 is equal to 0. So this one is majorly, it's called a quadrant. We need to know where all sine, tan, cos. So all are positive here. That means time, sine, positive here. And now here, we're going to look at which angle. Let's see when you're solving. Say 2 sine x is equal to 1. Go the other side. Divide by 2, divide by 2. So sine x is equal to 0.5. Where is sine positive? Sine is positive in the first and second quadrant. Negative in third. So this is first quadrant. This is second. This is third. This is fourth. So it's negative here and negative here. So our focus is between 0 and 180 degrees. That's where our answer falls. Between 0 and 180 degrees if you're moving anti-clockwise direction. Correct. Therefore, you can find, we know the sine inverse of x. So we say sine inverse 0.5. What is sine inverse 0.5? Sine inverse 0.5 is obviously 30 degrees. If you find sine inverse 0.5 and actually, yeah, which is a half. So we know an acute angle. So we know when you say a half what it means when you have number here. So we say our answer here is the same as 30 degrees. 30 degrees. Now after getting the 30 degrees, so it's 30 degrees. What will be the other one? The other one will be, it will be here. So it means on the second quadrant, which will be, means 180. It will be 180 minus 30, which is 150 degrees. Positive in the first and second quadrant. 30 degrees and 150. Then let's go to the last question of today. That's most important. Vectors. So this one is vectors. Very important. So this is champion. This is also one of the highly tested question in exam. Vectors. So vectors, we are trying to look movement. We are trying to find movement. So in the diagram, OA is parallel to BC. So OA is parallel to BC. OA is parallel to BC, but BC is 3OA. Wow. But BC is 3OA. BC is 3OA. Therefore, this is 3A. They are moving on the same direction. We have got that. Then the position vector of A is A and the position vector of B is B. Find the position vector of M. M is the midpoint of AC. So M is the midpoint of AC. How do we get vector AC? Find the position vector of M. That's also very important. We know what is vector AC. Find vector AC. Vector AC is equal to vector AO plus vector OB plus vector BC. Remember, we said vector BC is equal to vector 3OA, which is 3A. We get that. By showing that, we get a mark. Then AO is negative, moving this way and moving that way. And so you have negative A plus B plus 3A. You say vector AC is 3A minus A, which is 2A plus vector B. Vector AC that. And as I say, find the position vector of M, because M is the midpoint of AC. So that's if something is the midpoint of AC, it's very easy. So to get, now we are finding the position vector. This one is not a major, because AM, if you're finding AM, is the same as a half of AC. AM is the same as a half of AC. Now, if we need to find, remember, we have AM. So AM is the same as a half of vector AC. Now, a half of vector AC, which is 2A plus B. That's it. 2A plus B. So a half of 2A is A, and that's a half vector B. So A plus a half B. This is vector AM. Now we go back to the question. We want the position vector. So we want the position vector of point M. Position vector of this M. So OM is the position vector. OM. To get OM, what do we need to do? You have to add vector OA plus vector AM. Correct. So to get vector OM, which is the position vector, therefore, to get vector OM, which is the position vector, you have to add vector OA plus AM. Vector OA is vector A plus vector AM is A plus a half B. So you get A plus A, 1A plus A, 1A is vector 2A plus a half B. Now our answer here will be 2A plus a half vector B. This will be the answer. Next question. Now, the line y is equal to 7x plus 3 intersect the curve y is equal to x squared plus 5x minus 12 at the point A and B. Find the coordinate of A and B. Now, we know this is whereby it's called quadratic, or some call it parabola, where a line crosses with a curve is being crossed by a line. A curve is being crossed by a line. And we know when the value of A is greater than 0. When the value of A is greater than 0, therefore the curve has a minimum turning point. Now in this case, it means you will be having something like this. You have a curve. If this is y-axis and this is x-axis, so it means you might be having a curve in this way, and then it has a line maybe crossing. So those two lines, this line might have 2 points. Now one point is A and another point is B. This is what they're trying to find, and you have a minimum turning point. Probably this is not the actual, and this line will be now maybe line y is equal to 7x plus 3. So they are both y equations, or we can say they are both y expression. So what do you need to do? Just equate them. 7x plus 3 is equal to x squared plus 5x minus 12. Then we collect like terms. X squared plus 5x minus 12 is equal to 7x plus 3. Then x squared, take the other side, plus 5x minus 7x minus 12 minus 3 is equal to 0. Then x squared plus 5x minus 7x is minus 2x minus 15 is equal to 0. So minus 12 minus 3 minus 15. Then factorize, because we need to find the values of x. Factorize. When you factorize here, find two numbers that if you multiply, you get 15. But if you add, you get, because here a is 1, b is negative 2, and c is negative 15. So we need to find two numbers. Scroll down. So we need to find two numbers. We need to find two numbers that if you multiply, you get negative 15. If you add, you get negative 2. So obviously, two numbers, one will be negative 5 x, and this one will be positive 3x. Now, you split the middle, so our answer will be x squared minus plus 3x minus 5x minus 15 is equal to 0. Then factorize, introduce bracket. So x into x plus 3 minus 5 into x. For it to be negative, it has to be plus 3 is equal to 0. Then say x minus 5 and then x plus 3 is equal to 0. Using null factor, x minus 5 is equal to 0, or x plus 3 is equal to 0. Therefore, x is equal to 5, or x is equal to negative 3. So we have our a. Now we go back to the question. If you're looking for value of a, okay, so we say find the coordinate of a. Now we say, so a it's negative 3, and then b is 5. And then now, if negative 3 and 5, if it's negative 3, go to the main function. Apply negative 3 into there to find the value of y. You can as well use the line. You can use the line, or you can use the quadratic equation. You go there on top, y is equal to x squared plus 5x, x squared plus 5x minus 12. So you say x is, the value of x is negative 3. So negative 3 squared plus 5 into negative 3 minus 12. So this is 9 minus 15 minus 12. So 9 minus 27. What do you get in that case? Minus 27 plus 9, it is minus 18. So this will get minus 18. You get your answer as that. And then apply when x is 5. Y is equal to 5 squared plus 5 times 5 minus 12. It is 25 plus 25 minus 12. It is 50 minus 12. 50 minus 12, you get 38. So this is 38. Correct. So 5, 38, and negative 3, negative 18. You can put them that way. And you get your 5 marks. That marks the end of IGCSE Math Extended May-June 2025. I can't wait to help you do better in other papers and understanding all the examiner's trick that they put in different kind of questions just for you to fail a simple question. Stay connected in our YouTube channel. I can't wait to see you at the top champion. It's me, Teacher Adam. Bye bye.